So, hello and welcome everybody to the Skill Bharat Samman Awardees podcast. And today we have with us Richa ma'am. Richa ma'am, could you please introduce yourself to the audience and tell us a bit about you and your school?
Thank you so much for inviting me. Myself, Richa Kumar. I am the director principal of St. Wilfrid's School, which is at Mira Road. My total experience is now 24 plus, and I have been in this field teaching, academic planning, curriculum designing, author, designed books for various publication houses, very authored a book on parenting. This is my basic passion is also teaching. I love going into the classrooms and teaching because that gives me the different ideas that I implement and for which I always get noticed. It's the great efforts of the students, not my efforts. I always give this credit to my students who ignite those questions in my mind that, oh, well, this is something very interesting and we should go ahead with it. So this is all about me, and I am a keen learner. That's I can say about myself.
When you said that your passion is teaching in the classroom, that is something that people forget over the kind of experience you have, the kind of position you're at. People forget that basic fundamental of why you started doing what you're doing, and you still know it, and you're still doing that, which is really good.
I enjoy teaching. If I don't get to teach, I am not comfortable. I carry this even at home, I say.
That's great. So, moving on to the first section of the podcast, coming to the first question, is that everybody says skills, but it's become a jargon in education system now. But I think you guys are implementing it in your school. So, we would all like to know that how and what are the steps that you all have taken to implement skill development in your school, and what all are you all teaching and how are you all teaching? That's something our audience would love to know.
Okay. My experience in this field has been a series because I have been a founder principal in a school, and then I have finally come to this position of the director. But I would tell you that when I was a founder principal of one of the CBSE schools, I implemented it in 2015. Skill education was basically the objective behind initiating this process of skill education was to identify the innate potential in the child, let him discover what is his interest, and then develop that into a beautiful skill. That was the basic objective. So at that time we introduced them to robotics. We introduced them to the uh, um, photography. We introduced them to pottery. We introduced them to writing the media, basically writing articles for the journals. So all those things motivated the students to think differently that, well, if I don't have this skill, I have this something very good in me, and that helped them keep themselves motivated. So the at the end, when we checked on this, we realized that, well, skill education is a must, and it should be implemented in schools at a very lower level so that we have less dropouts. Because generally, when it comes to maths, science, physics, chemistry, and then biology, by that time, most of the children lose their interest and they don't want to go any further. But this skill education is a very beautiful stepping stone to help them understand, well, there is a big horizon waiting for them, and they can take this small steps of certificates and reach their levels where they want to grow, because that boosts the confidence in them, which helps them grow in a very beautiful direction.
Absolutely. So that's very nicely said that in 2015 you all have already started implementing this, and
Correct.
you all are talking about this and recognizing this after 8 years in 2023. So it takes a lot of time and effort that you all have been doing on ground, and finally some award like Skill Bharat Samman has come to award these efforts to take it at a national level television and showcase it out there. So,
Thank you so much.
yeah, my second question is that we all talk about AI and robotics nowadays, Chat GPT, etc. So, what are your thoughts on students? There's which skills should they learn to stay inside the job industry, inside the career industry? Should they also learn AI and robotics in their school times?
Well, I would like to take it in two parts. This question that you have said. Let us first see that getting updated with the skills that are coming is very important, whether it is a student or whether it's a professional, both ways. Because somewhere this should be taken as a tool to make your job easier. I think whether it is a professional who's probably pursuing their PhD also, AI could be a beautiful tool which is going to help that person, you know, do the time management, take all the resources together and implement it, wherever, however she wants, however he wants. It can be worked out for him more easily than going, spending hours in traveling, going to the library, picking up books, searching the content and doing. So this could, make the work simpler. So when we are talking to the students also, or we got disconnected, sorry.
No problem.
Okay, so when we talk to the students, just like you remember when internet came into being, okay, we had to guide the students about what to observe and what not to observe. Then parental control came. Then a lot of support systems came, how we can help that the students don't stray into the wrong areas. That's not required at this age. Similar way, I feel that when I'm looking at AI, I think the same kind of rules should be set, which could be very useful for making things simpler and faster. Both ways, I will say.
Absolutely. That one answer answered both the questions at the same time. So thank you so much for that. And my third question is, what do you think that kids should start companies in their school time? Should they become entrepreneurs? Should they learn entrepreneurship in their education system? What are your thoughts on entrepreneurship?
I will give you one very nice thing which I initiated in one of the schools when I was the principal. I did a research oriented project. I gave my students certain topics and I asked them, let's find solutions on these topics that I am just sharing. Okay. And the students came out with very interesting answers, and also they've started working on models how to bring a solution to those problems. Okay, so now when they practically did those models, for example, one of the student did, I think I've shared with you all, which was basically on for the farmers. He's a farmer's child. Okay, so he has done a tower garden, and he has done sensors on it, which is having disconnect, not required water, it stops. The sensor stops the extra water to come inside in that tower garden, and it is giving in less space good production. So that now he's completed his 12th now. Now he's approaching all the sarpans and he's educating the farmers about it. So he has already started his journey as a entrepreneur. Similarly, when one of another group of students, we gave them an idea that how would you like to start something. They took up an app and they created an app called Samman. Okay. And the Samman was basically about grandparents and the students connecting on one platform because they cannot meet and there are so many queries that they have. And they want to me, they have their own questions coming anytime. So the children are just putting the questions there, or the grandparents are putting the question there, and there's a 24/7 one of them attending those answers. Now another platform was created, Show Your Talent. So somebody is entertaining the grandparents with a stand-up comedy. Somebody is doing a recital of the Bhagavad Gita. Somebody is doing bhajans. Grandparents are giving some tips of health, something on the other. So this app became something very interesting when we showcased this. And now those children are selling that product, that app to the others. So I would say, and this is all at the rural belt that we initiated.
Hmm.
It was at Boisar that this project got initiated and lot of good appreciation. Now they've already have a vision in their hand and they're taking it ahead.
Wow.
Another third one, I'll just give a small example because I didn't want to prolong it. But the flower waste
Hmm.
in the temples. Now, students went and collected those, and from there, they made those Vaselines. They created those colors that could be used in the market. And then the industry people from there came and met the students and they said, well, this is something very extraordinary. We would love to take this product from you.
Absolutely.
So this is the way that schools should give this opportunity to the students, should give them one mentor, let them leash out, let them, just think about what are the solutions to the problems around us, and they will come up with something wonderful.
That's a
That's how
really,
I take it.
really great thought. So, it's so the kind of work you are doing is genuinely commendable. And my last question of this segment is that what would you like to implement in your school if you had full all the resources in the world, if you had all the possibilities in the world, what would you like to implement in your school in today's times? What do you think is trending now?
I genuinely feel that students, especially after sixth or eighth, especially after sixth or eighth standard, the skill part that they are learning, they should get some internship programs with people so that their learning gets more fortified and they are able to, the present situation that is coming up in the market, wherein economic conditions support is required for families, and it would be a great support system that we could build on in the for the economy also, both ways. So I feel that I would love that my children learn carpentry, my children learn how to design an AI. With the use of AI, they design something which could be useful to a housewife. I'm thinking of one thing which I've just put an idea to children, that let's do a balanced plate food. This obesity problem that is happening, when the food is going in the micro oven, let AI tell them that this food is having so much of carbohydrate, please don't have it. Kindly avoid it.
That's a very good thought. Yeah. So kids getting internships is a really, really good thought for the economy when you say it. Yeah. And coming to the rapid fire round. So in this round, the rules are quite simple. It's going to be like a game. I'm going to ask the question. You have to answer in only one word. Okay. So my first question to you is, it's a situation. You are a student, and tomorrow, at the same timings, you have a CBSE board exam, which you have to give, 10th grade, and at the same time, you have to go for an national level swimming competition. Which do you choose?
CBSC exam
Okay.
will be only once.
Second question is that as a student, should we focus on the degree and the certification, or the learning in itself and the outcome generated from it?
Learning in itself and outcome is more important than degrees.
Okay, great. And my third question is, if you could go back to your school time today, what would you learn?
Teaching.
You would learn how to teach. Okay. And the last question is, do you want your students to be job seekers or job creators?
Job creators.
Okay, that's all for the day. Thank you so much, ma'am, for all your time on a Monday
Thank you.
and your busy schedule. So we'll love to see you on 26th August at the Skill Bharat Samman. So thank
Thank
you
you
so much.
so much. Thank
Yeah.
you so much. God bless you.
Okay, thanks.